Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the possibility to present our paper at the conference Smart Governance. We prepared the paper with title Benefits and Obstacles of Smart Governments in Cities. I am co-authored with my colleagues Katarina, Sýkorová, Koróny and Darina, Rojíková. We are we work at the Matej University in Banská Bystrica at the Faculty of Economics. We research this area quite a long time, and we implement a few projects on this topic. During the last 2 or 3 years, we are more oriented on smart governance in cities, and specifically in condition on Slovak Republic. And in the paper, we will present partial outputs of this research. The main aim of the paper is to point out the importance of smart governance in cities as an innovative component of local policy. I think it is a quite still fashion topic, very actual, because the terms as digitalization and smartness in connection with the cities is very or belong to the most recent approaches, also in among the regionalists or the strategical planners. So we identify this approach as something like as a new phenomena and a new trend in the management of public administrations. This smartness is, however, more seen like an establishing of a local policy-centric system in which a large number of different stakeholders are involved in local policy decision-making based on the knowledge of behavioral economics with the application of traditional tools of local policy and with the support of new technologies. We structure the paper into 4 main chapters. The first one is theoretical, where we define the basic terms of smart governments, its dimension, precondition for implementation, benefits, and tools. The second one is oriented on the definition of methodology, including the realized Delphi method among experts from academia and experts from different countries in second half of the year 2020. Then we present the research results oriented on definition of smart governance, benefits of smart governance, and obstacles of implementation of smart governance and tools. In the last part, we conclude the main challenges of smart governance, and also we added some examples how the COVID-19 epidemic accelerated the implementation of smart governments in practice. To define the theoretical framework of smart governments is important to define the core of smart governance as a term. When we research this topic in the literature, we find out there is quite a long progress in the development or definition of smart governance. At first, the smart governance was more defined as some technical development of administration, so the role of technologies was very, very important. Then there is an approach that smart government is something like as e-governance. The next approach define the definition of smart governance generally, and the last one and most suitable for the condition of cities is exactly the definition of smart governance in cities. One of the most complex definition we find from Roland from 2019, and it is more oriented on the cooperation between different stakeholders, which are part of managerial structures in local municipalities, and it's defined also the way of interaction between the stakeholders. Then in the theoretical part, we identify also the tools of smart governance and impacts of smart governance. This was also defined on the literature review. By the definition of impacts, we use time mesh. He identified something like as main 5 main areas where the impacts of smart governments are is possible to identify. It is the transparency, cooperation, participation and partnership, communication and responsibility. And all of them can be said that it is affecting the quality of life in local municipality. And the definition of smart governance tools, we didn't find some complex approach, but we identify it based on the main competencies for which the local municipality is responsible, and also in combination of definition of benefits of smart governance. So we divide them into 4 main groups. The first one is the tools which support the transparency, as providing information, open data. The second group includes the tools by which citizens become democratic participants in the city's decision-making process. The third one includes the tools which are oriented on development of co-production with citizens and other stakeholders. And the last one is the group of communication tools. Because it is not exactly defined which tools belong to which group, we can say that they should be integrated, and really in reality they overlap a lot. So we use for our research the Delphi method. We work with the experts from academia for practice. The research of Delphi method was realized in 2 rounds. The first round was based on inviting the researchers to cooperate in our research. We identified them by research of academic papers, and we identified 278 experts, but for the next step of our research, just 33 experts were willing to cooperate. So they include the experts from the regional development, strategic planning, and public administration, a few of them from politics. Almost 85% they were from academia, just 15 from practice, and there is quite big share of Slovak experts, because also the research and especially the implementation of research results and some recommendation, which will be the output of the research, will be applied in Slovakia. We are quite happy that 50% of respondents were from Slovakia. So to the research result, like a first step of our research was to define the smart governance. By the research result, we can see that the most preferred definition of smart governance are the definition of Roland and Pereira. The definition of Roland is more preferred by regionalists. The definition of Pereira is preferred by experts in strategical planning. By the answers of respondents, there is not clearly selected one best definition. So basically on this research result, we can say that there should be something like an optimal solution, the combination of definition by Roland and definition of Pereira. So we here on this slide, we can see some kind of mix of the definition to combine them and to say to see the optimal, some kind of optimal definition for smart governance. The second part of research was identification of potential benefits of smart governance in these cities. We identified them on the previous empirical studies by academic authors, and the respondents should evaluate them on the scale from 0 to 5. The 5 was the best or strongly agree, and 0 strongly disagree. This research result we calculate by the evaluation of these benefits. We calculated and prepared the order of benefits by the importance or the strength of the agreement of respondents. And as you can see, the best ranked was increasing administrative efficiency and the interoperability, promoting social justice, improving the quality of life in cities, enabling stakeholders to become more knowledgeable and more skilled. When we see these kind of benefits, generally we can divide them into 3 groups. The first is the improvement of operability and administrative processes at the local municipality. The second one is orientation on the improvement of quality of life generally, like economic performance, social conditions, resilience, sustainability, and so on. And the last one is benefits for stakeholders, to involve them into the local policy, to implement more possibilities how they can influence it, and also how to ensure for them the equal position as stakeholders and partner to local municipality. But by the research result, it is not possible to say if there is some preference of some group of these benefits, because the evaluation of all of them is quite high. Then we research also the negative effects of smart governments. I can say that there is not so many literature dealing with this issue. We've identified just these 7 different potential negative effects of smart governance. It includes insufficient learning capacity of local government, preference of technological innovation instead of real needs of stakeholders, and expectation, exclusion of certain categories of the general population, for example, with communication via social networks, not the older generation is affected. A higher dropout rates in participation, especially in participation. Citizens can be seen just like operative units for collection of data, so they should fill some application, provide some information to the local municipality. The negative effects of technology on ecology, it means especially energy consumption and energy pollution, and increasing consumption in the fields of nutrition and consumer goods. So the people tend to shop or use more products and services if they are quite easy available via internet, online, and so on. And it can affect also partially smart governance in local municipality. Then the next area of our research were tools of smart governance. We divide them, as I said, into 4 groups, and then we calculate again their importance. The scale of evaluation was from 0 to 5. The 5 was the best important or the most important, and as you can see here in the slide, the most important for the local smart governance is open data portal and providing open data and the cooperation with this open data, then also co-production and co-creation of public services, and also electronic form of communication with the citizen and other stakeholders. We also use the correlation analysis to identify the correlation and relationship between the benefits and tools of smart governance in local municipalities. On this slide, you can see that if there are some red numbers, there is presented real correlation between the toolkit or benefits and benefits. So it means, for example, that there is quite strong correlation between the increasing openness and accountability and the website of the city. So it means that if there are still published new information on the website of the city, it increasing also openness and accountability of local municipalities. Positive numbers, it means there is a positive correlation, and the negative numbers, there is a negative correlation between these research aspects. For example, some other correlation, strong positive correlation was indicated also among increasing citizen centricity and shared architecture of data system for multi-level governance and cross-city engagement for knowledge or discussion forums with representative of stakeholders groups contribute to the changing in government organization and its position to stakeholders. To conclude the presentation, we can say that the smart governance can be seen as a framework for various types of cooperation and partnership with the stakeholders, but it's very important to use the traditional approaches, traditional tools, and combine them with the new one, also with the support of IT. The smart governance can be seen also as a suitable way how to increase the administrative efficiency and interoperability of a local municipality. But very important precondition is to have the quality employees, especially with which are able to develop their digital and analytical skills. And the implementation of smart governance should be seen like a tricky balance between the technical and social innovations. So there should be still reflected or should be great focus on the real needs of stakeholders and their expectation, not only on ability that we want to implement the IT solution, which are very modern, but without the reflection of real stakeholders' needs. As a positive, we see that there is a quite great progress in development of smart governance in cities caused also by COVID-19 pandemics, which affected also the Slovak municipalities in cities that try to use still new and more modern tools to involve the stakeholders and which support their position as an equal partner to local government. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions.